Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today in the short tutorial we're going to learn how to put some realistic snow and ice on a road for your Christmas display. I've had several folks ask how I did that. I showed you pictures of it when I was building the Christmas display, but I never really went into the details on how I did that. So today I'm going to take a few minutes and kind of go through a small little project of adding some snow and ice to a road and show you how that looks. I am a little bit excited because I did find a new product that I want to try for the road, and I was just looking online at Amazon for something I could use, and I found this non-skid tape. It's 4 inches wide, and it comes in a roll of, I don't know, 25 feet or so, 15 feet, something like that. But it once it's cut to length, it looks pretty good. It's a little sparkly, but you know, for a winter scene, that may not be, I mean, you're trying to go for a wet look anyway, so I'm gonna try that instead of the typical matting that I use from Department 56 or from Lemax. And so I'm going to try this out, and if this works well, I may incorporate some of this into some of the new Halloween builds. I think I absolutely will incorporate that into the new Pennywise diorama, which is going to be sort of a street sewer scene, and then his house, I hope, to build and then have him standing out in front of that. So probably use this type of road on that vignette to see how that looks as well. But hey, with that, let's jump right in and show you how I do the wet road or the slick road with some snow mixed in, and go from there. I will show you all of the products that I'm going to use, all the supplies that you'll need, and we'll get started building. Okay, so with that, a couple things you're going to need. I'm going to take a small 1-inch cut piece of XPS foam. This is the pink kind I pick up in the 1-inch by 2 foot by 2 foot squares at Lowe's or Home Depot. I've already showed you the road. I've already pre-cut that to length, and I cut that, just so you can see, using this Fisker's little side cut thing here that allows you to cut it pretty straight. So I use that for the cut. I'm going to reuse the sidewalk you saw me build in last tutorial. I'm just going to use that as some decoration on top of the road. Won't glue it down or anything, but just so you see the feel. The thing that I use to get the best wet look on any surface is Mod Podge, and you can see here it is the gloss type. And so I use that liberally, and I put that on with a paintbrush. And so once the road, and this is the road, I know I'm jumping all over the place here, I apologize. The road is a sticky back. So typically with a matting from Department 56 or from Lemax, I'll hot glue or PVA glue that road or that matting down on top of the foam. And it usually, 99.9% of the time provides an incredibly strong surface. It doesn't come up, it doesn't peel. But this time, especially for this little project here, I'm just gonna peel and stick and then see what kind of result that provides. If this works well and sticks well to the styrofoam, maybe problem solved, and you can do a whole lot of roads for a whole lot less money than you would use on some of the other products that I mentioned. So we'll just see how that turns out. So anyhow, I put the Mod Podge on liberally in 2 lines, you'll see that, with this paintbrush. And then I've used many types of snow. Now, your preference is your preference. You use whatever you feel comfortable with. The best snow that I think that I found out of everything that I've tried, and I tried a whole bunch of products last year, is the Department 56 Fresh Fallen Snow. I've got several bags of it. You can see I've got a little bit left in this bag, plenty enough to do this project, way more than I need. But this produces, for me, the most realistic look for snow. It's the right size, it's the right consistency, it's the right mixture and texture. It's pretty good, and it's not too much more expensive than some of the other brands that you would find. We found several bags of that on Amazon, and that's the way we purchased those. So really, oh, and then the last thing you'll need is I use one of these, got this sprayer at Lowe's. It's the Zep brand. I've got 4 or 5 of these laying around. I think they're $2 or $3 a piece. But I've got a mixture of PVA glue, white school glue. Any flavor that you choose is fine. It doesn't have to be Elmer's. It can be Craft Smart or whatever. So PVA glue and water. And they'll tell you it's a 5-to-1 ratio or a 3 to, I don't measure it. I squirt quite a bit of glue, maybe this much glue in there, and then I fill the rest up with water. Shake it around to make sure it's good. And then I use this on a somewhat of a wide setting to spray over top of my foliage, my grass, my snow, the road, or whatever I want to permanently glue down. This is how I do that. And so you'll see me do that towards the end of this tutorial video. So guys, I think that's about it as far as tools and equipment that I use. So with that, let's zoom down into the project, and I'll peel this road off and we'll stick it and see how it works. All right, guys, so we've got the base down. I'm gonna start peeling the backing of this off. It looks fairly sticky. So with that, and it feels fairly sticky. So you only really get probably one shot at this. So you gotta make sure that you line it up just right. Make sure it's where you want it. And then put that down. And that sticks pretty good, actually. It's not bad at all. It's actually really good. So now what I would typically do, if I was gonna finish this project, I would paint this either a gray or a black to sort of mix in with this. And there's a little, you can see I missed a little bit. There's a little bit of a pink line there. I would cover that with a little bit of black paint as well to match it. Or I would build a little curb like I typically do on most of my builds, and where the sidewalk would fit on this side, you would have a small little curb on this side. Now this is not to scale, it's just for demonstration purposes, but that would also help to cover that up and line that. So with that, what I'm gonna do now is we'll take our Mod Podge, give that a good shake. I'm gonna readjust the camera just a little bit here so you can see a little bit better. I want the sidewalk on there because I wanna know where to paint my 2 lines. And then what I'm going to have to do is take this out and cover it with some of that snow. And I don't want to do that in the house, but just take a liberal amount of Mod Podge, okay? And I want 2 very distinct lines. I'm gonna move this a little out of the way because I know where it needs to go now. Okay. So now this is all ready to put the fresh fallen snow on. And so I'm going to take that outside real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just got back inside and I sprinkled a lot of snow on and then packed it down. And then those give you the tire tracks. And then so the way you want to proceed from here is to do the glue water mixture all over this, sprinkle some more snow, and then take another brush. I'm gonna let this dry for a little while. Take another brush and kind of clear out some of the areas where you don't want the snow to be. and that's essentially it. And so what I can do is once this dries a little bit, we'll go outside, I'll take you with me, and I'll show you how I do the glue water, the rest of the snow, and then how to wipe it down. Then you just basically let it dry for a couple hours and you are good to go. So let's let this dry and then we'll head outside. Okay guys, as you can see here, I'm outside and I've got this piece here. I've got a brush that I plan on using. I've got the extra snow that came off of this that I'll use to sprinkle back on this. And I've got my spray. And so the spray just kind of goes on pretty liberally, just like this. Let it run all down through it. Kind of like that. Okay, so now you got it nice and wet. Take some of this snow and just sprinkle it on, just like it was snowing. Okay. Now I take this brush, start raking right down the sides. Right down the tracks as well. Okay, something about like that is what we're going for. And then again, I've not used this type of road before. So honestly, I don't really know what it's going to turn out like. But so far, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. So now this is going to sit out in the sun for a few hours and dry. This milky look will go away because it's glue, and it should start to kind of see some slick, some little spiky ice formations there, some packed snow, and this will look a whole lot different once it's dry. So I'm going to put this out in the sun and let it dry for a couple hours, and then we'll come back inside and take a look at the final product. Okay, so we're back, and I've let this sit outside in the sun for about 4 hours, and it is completely dry. If you see the detail up close, I think it looks really good. The Mod Podge has dried very clear, and it's difficult to see in this light, but when you do have light reflect on it, it does look wet. It does look like ice. And the best part is, and I will try to raise the camera up a little bit to capture this, is nothing comes off of this. Now, if you were to scrape it, it would come off, but nothing is coming off of this. It's very dry. And that's the good part, is you can store it like this. Obviously, you got to be mindful of sitting stuff on it, but it looks pretty slushy, and that's sort of the look that you're going for. So now, as we bring everything back down, I want you to be able to see the sidewalk. So now you take the sidewalk, and obviously you would hot glue this down, or you don't have to. I mean, you can just sit it on there, but the sidewalk then goes on there. And then when you start putting your accessories on, you take your car, put your car on, you put your little accessories onto the display, and now you start putting your trees behind it, or your house, or whatever, your side, your steps going up to your house, whatever leads you into that area. And now you can see with this painted gray or black with another curve there of how that is actually going to look when it's finished. So all in all, I think it looks really good. I'm very happy with the way it looks. It's very crunchy. This stuff is not going anywhere. I like the road texture, and it seems like it's going to stick down incredibly well. So there you have it. That's how you create realistic icy snow-covered roads, or at least how I create it. And hopefully you can learn from this video and create your own ice-covered roads for your village, and make it a little bit more realistic for your holiday season. Okay, well, hopefully that puts some perspective in how I build the roads for the winter holiday season, the Christmas season, and your winter displays. Realistic ice and slush add so much realism, at least in my opinion, to your display, and you certainly can't go wrong. Very simple process. You saw it doesn't take very long. I only did about a foot section of road, but really the largest part of your time is going to be spent doing absolutely nothing, waiting for the product to dry. Once it's dry, it's very, very robust. I love it. It doesn't flake off. You don't have to scrape it off and use a vacuum cleaner to kind of gather it all up and try to recycle to use next year. It's permanent. As long as you don't place heavy objects on it when it's in storage, you'll break it back out, put it back on your display shelf, and add your accessories to it and be ready to go for the holiday season. So hopefully that benefits you. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. As always, if you did enjoy the video, click the like button, let me know that. Also leave me some comments and ask me questions. Again, this video was done because a couple people asked, how do you do the wet and snow-covered road? So I wanted to be able to show that really quickly. So as always, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and consider doing that. It certainly helps to keep me motivated to do bigger and better displays. I think the next week I'll do a simple review just to keep it simple, keep something coming and content to the channel. But I also think I'm going to start working on the Pennywise diorama. I think I'm going to start there and actually build the Niebolt house out of some craft sticks and some foam core board, and see what I can do there to create a different display. So you got that to look forward to. Also, if you're in the Phoenix area, we are going to be out at Millie's Hallmark again on 12 March, doing another class out there. So if you're in the local area, I look forward to seeing you on 12 March. I think I'm going to be covering how to do some water, either with the glue water and toilet paper mix, or pouring resin. Probably do one of each during the class out there at Millie's, and that's on 12 March. I believe it's 10:30 to 12:30 or 10 to 12. If you're in the local area, you'll see a flyer on it. So, hey, with that, you guys take care of yourself. Crazy world we live in with everything going on right now. So take care of each other. We'll see you real soon. Take care.